So a lot of the critics of this game are taking it as a win. They're basically saying, look how harmful this game is. It's pretty much what we've been saying, right? It's pretty much porn. But they fail to articulate the fact that the rating that games get in South Korea are being given by different standards than the ratings that you get in the West. Like, for instance, if you look at Baldur's Gate, right, which is game of the year, everyone knows it. Baldur's Gate is a video game that has extreme violence in it. I mean, you have characters that are covered with blood. It has nudity in it. It even has sex in it, right? Like, you have, like, the bear sex scene, the famous one, but there's, like, many others. So, by all accounts, I think Baldur's Gate, when it comes to giving it a rating, would probably rate a lot more harmful than you have Stellar Blade. Because what Stellar Blade has, and this is what spooked, I guess, the South Korean rating board, is the fact that it has excessive violence. So in this game, apparently there's a lot of blood. You can dismember people, right? Like, you can cut off their hands and stuff. For Asian cultures, that is very problematic. For American cultures, not so much. I mean, if you look at the United States, you have Mortal Kombat, like, that's fine. There have been TV shows like The Walking Dead where you have the writers and the special effects team trying to recreate a human head with brain and trying to recreate the sound of it, like how it is to smush a brain and stuff. Like, for the West, extreme violence in 2024 is a non-issue. Nobody cares how over the top, how grotesque and violent your video game is. They don't even care about nudity at all. I mean, you have nudity in The Last of Us 2, you have nudity in The Witcher, you have nudity in Baldur's Gate. They don't care about it. The only thing they care about is when a sexy woman is sexy. Like that really freaks them out, right? If Baldur's Gate 3 had sexy anime characters, they wouldn't allow that to pass. They would be freaked out. And I think, like, the reason for it is the fact that in 2016, academics have managed to convince most of the American public that the male gaze leads to rape. I don't know how they managed to do that. I don't know what is the logic and the connections, but that is pretty much what they did, right? So, like, if a man looks at a sexy depiction of a female character in Neverwinter Nights, he becomes a rapist, right? Like, that's what they concluded. And because of that, they went like, okay, show them everything besides the male gaze, right? So show them queer sexuality, show them a fat, morbidly obese, corporeal manifestations from California now. Show them androgynous character. Take a female character and give her male animations, and that's what we want you to show. So now, like, Americans are freaked out by a game that doesn't look that different to anything that would have been made in the early 2000s or 2010s. I don't see this being that different than Bayonetta when it comes to sexuality. If you look at the, male sexuality like Kratos, God of War, like you have this guy walking around flat, naked, right? Half naked, actually, doing, like, incredibly masculine things. With a booming, powerful voice. And they don't see a problem with that. But the moment you see, like, an ushikushi lady on the screen, they freak out and they're like, oh my god, this is too much. This is over the top. Even though, as the CEO has pointed out, this is a game for adults. Like, he just said it before getting the rating. He said, no, this is an adult game made for adults. We wanted to make the female character as sexy as possible because this is what sells and this is what the market wants. And that's that. And the thing is, like, the West knows it as well. Like, look at Captain Marvel, right? Like, Captain Marvel looks as unappealing as possible, right? She doesn't even fucking smile. They even politicized the concept of a human smile. They said, like, asking a woman to smile is too much. It's too much. It's pretty much like harassment, You're taking away her body autonomy. You're not allowed to ask a woman to smile. So they're like, no, like short hair, broad shoulders, like literally everything that they could in order to make her as unappealing as possible. But then when you look at the statue that they're showing, right? So they have, like, in the comic books, they had the special edition where you can buy, like, a miniature Captain Marvel. Oh, that was the previous Captain Marvel with long blonde hair, big boobs, birthing hips, right? Because they know that sells. They know that that's what people want to have in their bedroom. They don't want to have, like, the masculine version of Captain Marvel that's now in the comics. right? So deep down inside, they know what the market wants, but they're spiteful. They just don't want to give the market what they want. So now when you have a foreign company giving the market what they want to see this game fail. So they're really happy that South Korea is giving an AO rating. So for those of you who don't know, there is a difference between mature and adult only. Like, both of them are not for kids. Mature means a game that has violence in it, like Baldur's Gate, and has some sexuality in it. Adult only pretty much means either porn game or a game that is so violent, is so over the top, that is getting the adult only rating. I think like Manhunt is probably the only game that I know which got the adult only rating specifically due to the violence. This one in Korea, again, it uses a different type of rating. It's not the American one, so it can still go on the PlayStation. It can still go on Steam without being suppressed. But what it does mean is that in Korea specifically, it's going to be suppressed, right? Like, so they are going to let people know and treat it the same way, like it's a adult only game, right? It's a hentai game or something. And of course, you know, people in the West are going to say, oh, well, if the Koreans gave that, we should give it as well. And they're going to try to pressure this, because if it gets the AO rating, then it won't be able to get on PlayStation. So if it doesn't go on PlayStation, it will severely affect their sales. And I think like this is what people on Twitter are trying to do now. They're trying to make the argument, well, you know, it got an AO rating for nudity, and we can never play a game that has nudity. Oh, think of the children. And then you're thinking about it and you're like, hold on a little bit. Nudity, right? Like almost every single Western RPG since Neverwinter Nights has nudity in it. I already mentioned Baldur's Gate, right? But Dragon Age has nudity in it. Mass Effect has it. A lot of games even have sex scenes. Like The Last of Us 2, right? The Last of Us 2 has nudity in it. Witcher's got nudity in it. Like these people like to erase history. They like to pretend that people have amnesia and they just don't remember that these games happened, exist, and they don't have the adult-only rating. I mean, Cyberpunk, you know, I was afraid of playing Cyberpunk on YouTube because in the first scene, you have to save this woman, which is naked, and she is in a bathtub full of ice, and you have to carry her, and it has like booby physics and stuff. And I was afraid to play that on YouTube because I was like, well, I mean, it's Cyberpunk, it's a very popular game, but it has penis sliders and it has all this other shit. Like, am I allowed to play it on stream? Right? So that's fine because it's made in the West. This is not fine because it's competing with the West. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.